My sister's plan turned me into her twin. My name is Aiden, and for as long as I can remember, I've lived in the shadow of my twin sister, Alina. We may have shared the same birthday, the same blood, even eerily similar facial features, but our lives couldn't have been more different. She was the spotlight, the girl with the million-follower fashion account, the local icon. Alina was the kind of person who walked into a room and owned it without saying a word. I, on the other hand, was just me. Quiet, anxious, hiding behind baggy hoodies and computer screens. I worked freelance tech support from home, rarely stepping outside unless I had to. It wasn't that I hated the world, I just didn't feel like I belonged in it. And no one, not even Alina, knew about the secret life I lived when the curtains were drawn. In my room, behind a locked door, I kept a box. It was discreet, hidden beneath old college books and outdated routers. Inside were a pair of stockings, a short black skirt I'd ordered online at 2 a.m., some barely used makeup kits, and a wig that I'd nervously tried on only twice. They weren't just objects. They were dreams. Fantasies I could never talk about. I didn't know what it meant, exactly. Whether I wanted to be a girl, or whether I just liked the feeling of softness, the thrill of hiding. I only knew that when I slipped on those clothes, something in me clicked. I felt real. And terrified. Terrified of what people would say. What my sister would say. What Amara would say. Amara was my girlfriend of 8 months. Smart, funny, gorgeous, and totally out of my league. We met on a gaming forum, bonded over obscure fantasy novels, and somehow, things just clicked. But I never told her about that side of me. I didn't have the courage. I always told myself, it's not important. I can stop anytime. It's just a weird habit, right? But that lie was wearing thin. Our relationship had started to strain. Amara had been complaining that I wasn't open enough, that I always seemed distant. And it was true. How could I be truly close to someone when I was hiding the most vulnerable part of myself? And then there was Alina. She'd always been observant. Too observant. She knew something was off with me. She'd even made a joke once, teasing, "You've got softer legs than me, Aiden. You shaving or something?" I'd laughed it off, said I was just trying a new skincare thing, but her eyes lingered on me for just a second too long. I felt exposed. Then, last week, everything changed. Alina called me into her room and closed the door behind us. Her expression was unreadable, half amusement, half curiosity. She sat on her bed, holding a glossy pink shopping bag, tapping it lightly. "I have a question," she said calmly, "and I want the truth." My stomach dropped. "What is it?" asked, trying to keep my voice neutral. She tilted her head. "Have you been going through my makeup?" I froze. "And no," I said too quickly. She raised a perfectly shaped eyebrow. "Aiden, don't lie. I've seen smudges on my lipsticks, brushes out of place, a missing pair of heels from my closet that magically reappeared 2 days later." My mouth opened, but no words came out. "I'm not mad," she added. "I just want to understand." Something cracked in me. Maybe it was the way she said it, soft, like a big sister instead of a judge. Maybe I was tired of hiding. Maybe I just wanted to be known. I nodded. Slowly. Hesitantly. Tears pricking the corners of my eyes. She didn't scream. She didn't mock me. She simply stood up, walked over to me, and hugged me tight. That moment changed everything. But it wasn't the end of my secret life. It was just the beginning. The next day, Alina proposed something outrageous. "I've got an idea," she said, flipping through her calendar. "There's a big fashion event in 2 weeks. I was supposed to go with another influencer, but she bailed. What if you went instead?" I blinked. "As your date?" She smirked. "No, dummy. As me. Or rather, my twin." My breath caught in my throat. "You want me to pretend to be you?" She nodded. "Full glam. Outfit, heels, voice training, everything." "That's insane." "It's perfect. But why?" Alina gave a small shrug. "Maybe because I think you'd pull it off. Maybe because you need to stop hiding. Or maybe, just maybe, I've always wanted a twin sister more than a twin brother. I didn't say yes. Not right away. But that night, I opened the box under my bed again, held the clothes, stared at myself in the mirror, and I wondered, what if? What if I could be her? Even just for a night. I didn't know what I was stepping into. I didn't realize Alina had plans. Not just for the event, but for me. And soon enough, my secret wouldn't just be mine anymore. The next morning, Alina barged into my room holding a tall iced coffee in one hand and a spiral notebook in the other. "Get up," she said with a grin. "Operation Twin Swap starts today." I blinked at her, still groggy from a night of tossing and turning. I dreamt of wigs, mascara wands, and Amara knocking on my door, catching me mid-transformation. I didn't say yes, I mumbled. Alina ignored me, flipping open her notebook and sitting at my desk. Too late. I've already blocked out the schedule. We've got makeup tutorials, voice coaching, posture training, and wardrobe fittings. Oh, and you're going to start practicing walking in heels. Today. I sat up slowly. You're really serious about this? She looked up at me, her tone suddenly gentler. I am. But only if you want this, Aiden.
I'm not forcing you.
You can say no, and I'll drop it. That's the thing. I could say no.
But I didn't want to.
Not really. Despite the fear clawing at my chest, despite the potential disaster this could cause with Amara, I felt something else, too. A strange sort of freedom. Permission to explore. I'll try, I whispered. Her eyes sparkled.
Good.
Let's start with the basics. That afternoon, we sat at her vanity mirror. My hands trembled slightly as she handed me a primer bottle. Start with this, she said. Small amount. Think of it like prepping a canvas. I followed her instructions, smoothing the cool gel across my face. It felt surreal, alien, but exciting. Next came foundation.
Blush.
Eyeshadow. She walked me through each step, patiently correcting my clumsy strokes. It wasn't easy. I'd watched tutorials online before, but doing it on my own skin, with her watching, felt much more intense. Then she handed me a lipstick tube. I stared at it. A deep, berry shade. Too much, she asked. I hesitated, then twisted it open and applied it carefully. The color popped against my pale skin. For a moment, I didn't recognize myself in the mirror. But Alina did. She beamed. You're going to be stunning. My cheeks flushed. Don't exaggerate. I'm not. She leaned closer. You've got my bone structure, Aiden. You were halfway there already. We're just polishing you. I tried to smile, but anxiety lurked beneath the surface. What if someone sees me? I asked quietly. What if Amara finds out? Alina paused, then said, You don't have to tell her anything, unless you want to. But maybe this isn't about hiding. Maybe it's about you figuring out who you really are. That struck a nerve. Was this just dress up to me? A game of disguise? Or was it something more? Later that day, we moved on to clothes. She pulled out 3 different outfits from her closet and held them up. Casual twin, classy twin, or baddie twin? I blinked. I don't even know what that means. She giggled. Don't worry. We'll try all 3. The first was a casual high-waisted skirt with a crop top and a light cardigan. Simple. Feminine. The second was a sleek black dress with a side slit and sheer sleeves. Elegant, mature. And the third had me blushing. A tight red bodycon mini dress with strappy heels and hoop earrings. No way, I muttered. Yes way, she grinned. You'll thank me later. I tried on each outfit in turn, letting her zip me up, adjust the straps, style my wig. I hated how natural it started to feel. Or maybe I loved it too much. When I walked out in the red dress, she let out a dramatic gasp. Stop. You look like my evil twin in a telenovela. I rolled my eyes but secretly relished the compliment. Still, I felt a mix of emotions. Vulnerable, exposed, but also alive. And then came the heels. Let's go, she said, handing me a pair of nude stilettos. You need to practice. I wobbled instantly, nearly falling.
Small steps.
Core tight. Shoulders back, she instructed. I tried again, strutting awkwardly across the room. My calves burned. My pride shattered. But Alina clapped. You're doing great. Seriously. I wasn't sure if she meant it or was just being supportive, but I appreciated it either way. That night, alone in my room, I stood in front of the mirror wearing a simple wig, some light makeup, and a pair of Alina's jeans and a pastel sweater. Nothing flashy. Just a look. I stared at myself, and I saw her. Not Alina, but someone else. Someone new. Someone I didn't have a name for yet. And I liked her. That scared me. Just then, my phone buzzed. It was Amara. Amara. Hey. Want a video call tonight? I miss your face. Panic hit me like a truck. I stared at the message. My reflection. The lipstick-stained tissue in the trash. I quickly texted back. Hey. Can't tonight. Really tired. Tomorrow? Amara. Ah, okay.
Hope you're all right.
Love you. Guilt twisted in my stomach. I was lying. Hiding. But for the first time, not from myself. The next day, training intensified. Alina took me to a private salon she trusted. I nearly bolted when she suggested we get my eyebrows shaped and legs waxed. Too much, she asked as I gripped the seat. I nodded frantically.
She softened.
We can stop anytime. But if you want to blend in at the event, we need to commit. After a long pause, I agreed. The waxing hurt like hell. My eyebrows looked thinner, cleaner. My legs? Smooth as silk. I couldn't stop running my hand over them that night. It felt right. The following week passed in a blur of lashes, lipsticks, and identity confusion. Alina had transformed into a full-time coach, with the enthusiasm of someone prepping for a high-stakes reality show. Every morning, she barged into my room with coffee and a new task. Voice exercises. Pacing with books on my head. Practicing eyeliner wings on oranges. She even made me hold pretend conversations in front of the mirror, introducing myself as her. Say it, she'd command. Hi, I'm Alina. I'm a fashion influencer, and I absolutely do not eat carbs. I'd groan. Alina, this is so dumb. She'd just laugh. That's part of being me. Confidence. Drama. Sass. But something strange was happening. Every time I repeated her lines, every time I saw myself in the mirror, I felt a little less like Aiden and a little more like someone else entirely. I was learning to blend. I wasn't just wearing her clothes anymore. I was starting to wear her energy. One day, while we were practicing outfits, she stood back and crossed her arms thoughtfully. You know, she said, you've got better posture as Alina than I do. I looked up, confused. What do you mean? I mean, you're carrying yourself like a woman now. It's natural. My stomach did a slow turn. I didn't know whether that was a compliment or a warning. That night, I couldn't sleep. I got up, pulled the box of old boy clothes from under my bed and opened it. Baggy jeans. Graphic t-shirts. The hoodie Amara always called my caveman outfit. I held it up. It felt wrong. Foreign. Like it belonged to someone else. Then I looked at my reflection. My freshly shaped eyebrows. The faint shimmer of highlighter I hadn't washed off completely. The smooth legs under my sister's silk sleep shorts. What was happening to me? Things hit a new level when Alina introduced the wig. Not just any wig. A custom one, lace front, shoulder length, glossy brunette with subtle curls. Styled exactly like hers. I had it made, she said casually, like she hadn't just dropped a transformation bomb on me. You spent money on this? Call it an investment. Now sit. I want to see my twin. She fitted it on me with practiced hands, securing it perfectly. Then she added a touch of lip gloss and a hint more blush. When she turned me toward the mirror, I gasped. I didn't look like Aiden anymore. I didn't even look like a guy in makeup. I looked like Alina, a reflection of her.
Her twin. It was horrifying.
And electrifying. This is too much, I stammered. She smiled softly. You're not pretending anymore, Aiden. You're becoming. The next day brought a new terror.
Amara.
She called in the morning. Hey. Surprise, I got off work early. Thought I'd stop by. My blood went cold. My brain short-circuited. I'm not home. I blurted. Where are you? Grocery store. Silence on the line. Then, is everything okay? Yeah, just errands. I'll call later. I hung up, heart pounding, palms sweating. Alina raised an eyebrow from across the room. That was smooth. This isn't funny, I snapped. She's going to find out. She's not dumb, Alina said. But maybe that's a good thing. I shot her a look. What's that supposed to mean? She hesitated, then said, maybe you're not hiding from her because you're scared. Maybe it's because you want her to know. I looked away. The truth hurt. That evening, Alina upped the challenge. Let's go out, she said. My stomach turned. What? Just a walk. Around the block. In full Alina mode. You're crazy.
Come on.
No one will recognize you. If you're going to pull off this event in public, you need to test the waters. It took 20 minutes of arguing, but I gave in. We dressed me in a casual sundress, low heels, and a denim jacket. Nothing flashy. My wig was secured tight. Alina applied a minimal makeup look, just enough to highlight. I stared at myself in the mirror before we left. I wasn't Aiden. I wasn't even Aiden dressed as Alina. I was her. We stepped outside. I held my breath with every step. My heels clicked softly on the pavement. Every passing car felt like a spotlight. Every dog walker, a potential threat. But no one batted an eye. No double takes. No gasps. No neighbors calling my name. Just two sisters out for a walk. I was trembling by the time we returned. Heart racing. Palms damp. But underneath it all was a rush of something I couldn't name. Pride? Freedom? Relief? Maybe all of it. That night, back in my room, I got a message. Amara, hey, I've been thinking about you all day. I miss you. I stared at the screen, and for the first time,
I didn't reply.
Not because I didn't care, but because I didn't know who she missed anymore. 3 days before the event. By now, I could walk in heels without wobbling, apply eyeliner with relative accuracy, and even carry on short conversations as Alina, with enough sass and poise to pass. My reflection no longer shocked me. It welcomed me, like someone I knew intimately but still didn't fully understand. Alina began calling me her shadow twin. At first, it was a joke. But after a while, it didn't feel like one. You realize you've been spending more time as me than as you? She pointed out one evening as we watched TV. I was curled up beside her on the couch, wearing a hoodie dress and fuzzy socks, legs tucked neatly beneath me. I hadn't even noticed. That scared me a little. But I also didn't want to change back. The next morning, I got a text from Amara. Amara, can I come over today? Just for a bit. I stared at the message for a full minute. I couldn't keep dodging her forever. And part of me missed her, desperately. I messaged back. Sure. Around 5. As soon as I hit send, I ran into Alina's room like I'd seen a ghost. She's coming, I blurted out. Today. Alina, unfazed, calmly closed her laptop. Okay, you've got 4 hours. 4 hours for what? To become Aiden again. The phrase made my stomach twist. We moved quickly. I washed off my makeup, pulled off the wig, changed into jeans and a plain gray tee. Alina handed me a razor. Your stubble's still growing in slowly, but it's enough to help the illusion. I stared at the boy in the mirror, my old self, and it felt uncomfortable, like wearing a costume that didn't fit anymore. Still, I had to fake it. By the time Amara arrived, I looked like normal Aiden. She hugged me tightly at the door, but she lingered a second too long. You smell different, she said. My heart dropped. I switched body wash, I mumbled. She raised an eyebrow. Lavender vanilla? I laughed awkwardly. Hey, don't knock it till you try it. We sat in the living room. I kept the lights dim, trying to avoid scrutiny. But Amara's eyes were scanning me constantly. You've been distant lately, she said after a few minutes of silence. I know, I replied. I've just had a lot on my mind. Is it about us? No, I said too fast. I mean, not exactly.
She looked at me.
You know you can tell me anything, right? I wanted to believe that. I really did. But I imagine her reaction if she saw me dressed like Alina. Heels, lashes, lipstick, and I couldn't picture anything but shock and disappointment. So I lied. I've just been helping Alina with some stuff, I said. She's prepping for an event and needed a lot of help with her socials and tech stuff. Amara nodded slowly. Makes sense. You two have been spending a lot of time together. Something about her tone made my skin prickle. Underscore 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 underscore. After she left, I sat in the bathroom and stared at myself in the mirror again. I hadn't realized how used to her I'd become. The girl in the makeup, the soft sweater, the gentle posture. I missed her already. I missed me. And worse, I'd lied to Amara's face. Again. I couldn't keep this up forever. The next day, things got even riskier. Alina had a dress rehearsal in mind. You're going to do a full day as me, she said. Start to finish. Makeup, clothes, errands, social interactions. No backing out. I hesitated. What if someone recognizes me?
She grinned.
Then we know you need more practice. I dressed in a simple pink blouse tucked into high-waisted mom jeans, paired with white sneakers and a crossbody bag. Casual but very Alina. My wig was styled into a loose side braid. Light makeup, just enough to blend. She sent me to a boutique cafe we frequented, armed with her wallet and phone. Order the usual.
Smile.
Don't act nervous. My heart thudded as I stepped inside. The bell jingled overhead. Hey, Alina, the barista said with a friendly grin. My lips parted. I almost corrected him. But I remember the voice lessons. The smile. The posture. Hey, I said, matching her tone and rhythm. I'll do my regular.
He winked.
Coming right up. I sat at a corner table, sipping the drink slowly, texting Alina updates. She replied, You're killing it. Bet you're even sitting like me. I glanced down. I was, legs crossed neatly, fingers curled around the cup delicately.
Not even thinking about it.
This wasn't pretend anymore. On my way home, I ran into disaster. Literally.
Amara.
She was walking toward the market across the street. She hadn't seen me yet, but I froze, heart jackhammering. There was nowhere to run. My pulse surged. I dropped my gaze, turned slightly, adjusting my braid so it hung over my face. I prayed she wouldn't look too closely. I passed her. For a second, nothing. Then her head snapped around. Alina? My blood iced. I turned, forcing a light laugh in my sister's voice. Hey, Amara. Fancy seeing you here. She smiled, but something in her eyes tightened. You're looking different today. I shrugged. Just casual errand mode. Her gaze lingered. Your voice sounds off. You okay? I coughed softly. A little sore throat. She seemed to accept it. Barely. We made small talk for a minute more, then I excused myself, promising to text her later. As soon as I turned the corner, I ran. Back home, I collapsed on the floor, gasping. Alina stared at me, wide-eyed. What happened? She saw me. I panted. Thought I was you. But she almost knew. I barely pulled it off. She knelt beside me, excitement in her eyes. That means you're getting good. Like, really good. No, I said. It means I'm slipping too far. I can't keep lying like this. You're not lying, she said gently. You're learning who you are. That night, I lay in bed, makeup wiped clean, wig off, but still in Alina's sleepwear. I picked up my phone, typed a message to Amara. Can we talk? Then deleted it. Typed again. There's something I need to tell you. Deleted. My thumb hovered over her name for what felt like hours. I couldn't send it.
Not yet.
Not when I didn't even know which version of me I was supposed to introduce. 2 days before the event, I sat in front of the vanity again, staring into the mirror as Alina dabbed contour under my cheekbones. The motions had become second nature now. Highlight, blush, mascara, lip stain. I could apply most of it myself, but Alina insisted on perfection for the final tests. "Today we're filming," she said. My stomach twisted. Filming what?
A TikTok.
A twin reveal thing. Trust me, it'll go viral. I almost dropped the mascara wand. Are you insane? If this goes online. No face close-ups, she said calmly. It'll be a back-to-back spin transition. Just to show off the illusion. No one will know it's you. I didn't move. But what if they do? She met my gaze in the mirror. Then maybe that's not a bad thing. I flinched. She saw it. You're scared, she said, of being seen. But maybe it's time someone saw you. Her words lingered like perfume. An hour later, we stood in her room wearing identical outfits, matching skater skirts, crop tops, and long brown wigs. She adjusted my necklace, and then hers. Side by side, I was her reflection. I swear, she said, grinning, you could take over my account for a week and no one would notice. Please don't suggest that. She giggled. The video was simple. Just a transition. Alina stands in frame, spins. I spin into frame right after, mimicking her move. Two nearly identical twins. A smooth cut, barely distinguishable. When she showed me the final video, I didn't speak. It was like watching her dance with her own shadow. But I was the shadow. Later that evening, I was back in my room, halfway through removing the makeup, when my phone buzzed. Amara. Okay, I give up. Something's going on. You've been different.
Weird.
Distant. Either we talk, or I'm coming over tomorrow. For real. I stared at the message. Panic gripped my chest. I didn't respond. Instead, I slipped the wig back on. Finished the lipstick. Stood in front of the mirror again and whispered, "Who even are you?" The girl staring back didn't answer. But she looked more like home than Aiden ever did. The next day, Alina had another idea. "Let's go to the mall," she said. I froze. In public. We'll go to a different one. Across town. No one will recognize us. I don't know. She cut me off. You need to feel what it's like to move through the world as her. Not hiding. Not pretending. Just being. I should have said no. Instead, I nodded. We dressed casually but cute. I wore high-waisted denim shorts, a lavender blouse, soft curls falling over my shoulder. Alina did the same but in pink. Matching twins, but reversed. Walking through the mall was like stepping into a dream. Or a nightmare. I was hyper-aware of everything. The way my hips moved. The click of my sandals. The swing of my bag. Every glance. Every whisper. Every mirror we passed felt like judgment. Or praise. People looked at us, but no one questioned it. In fact, we got compliments. "I love your nails," one woman told me in Sephora. I blushed and whispered, "Thank you." Alina nudged me.
See?
They don't see Aiden. They see you. We got lunch at the food court. She made me order.
I did.
My voice held. No weird looks. No suspicion. For a moment, I forgot the fear. For a moment, I was just a girl having lunch with her sister. And it felt real. When we got home, I was still floating until I saw Amara's car parked outside. My stomach dropped. Oh no. Alina looked over. You didn't tell her we were out? I didn't think she'd come today. The doorbell rang. I froze. Go change, Alina whispered. But I couldn't move. My legs wouldn't respond. My heart was in my throat. Alina? Amara called from outside. Then silence. And then, Aiden. My blood went cold. Alina turned to me. We can hide you. You can sneak through my room. I shook my head. I was done running. I opened the door. Amara stood there, staring at me in shock. Not at Alina.
At me.
Dressed like her twin. In full girl mode. Her mouth parted, words caught in her throat. I didn't run. I didn't speak. I just looked back at her and waited for the world to collapse. Amara didn't speak. She just stood in the doorway, eyes locked on mine, flicking from my curled wig to my lavender blouse to the gloss on my lips. Her expression was unreadable, frozen somewhere between confusion and disbelief. "Amara," I began, my voice soft and shaky. She blinked.
Once. Twice.
"Aiden." My throat tightened. I nodded. There was a long, suffocating silence. Then her voice cracked. "Are you wearing makeup?" I could have lied. Said it was a dare.
Said it was a joke.
Said anything to distance myself from the truth unraveling between us like a silk ribbon. But I was done lying. "Yes," I whispered. She stared, blinking harder now. "And those clothes?" I glanced down at myself. I didn't even feel like I was wearing a costume anymore. This wasn't a look I threw together. It was me, every inch of me carefully chosen, experienced, lived in. I met her eyes. "They're mine." Another silence. I don't understand," she said, stepping inside. "Is this something you've been doing behind my back?" "Yes," I admitted, shame curling in my gut. But not out of spite.
I didn't mean to lie. I just didn't know how to say it.
Amara closed the door behind her slowly. Her eyes scanned the apartment. Her voice trembled. "Have you told anyone else?" I hesitated. A shadow moved behind me. Alina. She stepped out from a hallway, arms crossed, face unreadable. "I know," she said calmly. Amara looked between us. "You planned this together?" Alina nodded. He didn't want to hide anymore. I helped him step into the light. Amara took a step back. "So, what is this then? A performance? A prank?" "No," I said quickly. "This isn't a prank. It's real. It's something I've needed for a long time, even if I didn't understand it." Tears threatened my voice, and I swallowed hard to steady it. Every time I put on those clothes, I felt like I could breathe. Like I wasn't disappearing. Like I was alive. Amara stared at me for a long, quiet moment. Then she shook her head, blinking fast. I don't know what to say. You never even hinted. You never told me anything." "I was scared," I said. "I thought I'd lose you." Her shoulders tensed. "And now?" "I don't know." Alina broke in. "He needs time, Amara. And maybe so do you. But this version of Aiden," she gestured toward me, "this isn't going away." Amara's gaze dropped to the floor. She stood still for a long time before finally speaking. "I just need to think." She walked past us, slowly, almost cautiously, like I was something fragile that might shatter. And then she was gone. The moment the door closed, I collapsed onto the couch, trembling. "I messed everything up," I whispered. Alina sat beside me. "No, you didn't." She looked at me like I was a stranger. "You're not a stranger," she said softly. "You're just finally being seen. That's scary for both of you." I leaned into her shoulder, mascara smudging onto her top. She didn't pull away. The next day passed in a haze. No texts. No calls. I kept checking my phone like a nervous habit, hoping for a message that never came. Alina didn't push. She gave me space. But I knew she was watching. That evening, she entered my room holding something wrapped in tissue paper. "I had this made for the event," she said quietly. "But I think it's yours now." I opened the bundle. A satin lavender dress. Tailored. Delicate. Feminine. I held it up. "It's beautiful." "So are you," she said, not flinching. I looked in the mirror. The dress held against my chest, my reflection half transformed. But part of me was still cracked. Empty. "Amara's gone," I said. "Maybe for good. She might come back. She just needs to understand." "And what if she never does?" Alina took my hand. "Then you'll still have you. And that's worth everything." That night, I stood in front of the mirror wearing the lavender dress. It fit like it had always belonged to me. I styled my hair, did my makeup. Step by step, I rebuilt the version of myself I'd almost abandoned out of fear. When I was done, I stared into the glass. I didn't see a lie. I didn't see a costume. I saw me. And I was beautiful. 2 days had passed since Amara saw me in full transformation. The silence between us was deafening. I barely slept. I didn't eat much. Alina tried to keep the energy light, playing music, bringing me coffee, suggesting we practice our twin walk for the upcoming event. But I couldn't focus. I think she's gone for good, I said as I pulled the lavender dress from its hanger. She's just processing, Alina replied gently. Trust me, she'll come back. She looked at me like I was a stranger. Maybe I am. Alina knelt down beside me.
No.
You're still you. The same person who loved her.
Who she loved.
You're just more now. That more came with consequences. I could feel them tightening around my throat. The day of the event arrived. A brand launch party for a designer Alina had collaborated with. Her name was on the invite list, but she had entered us both as the Alina twins. You're ready, she said as she zipped me into the lavender dress. You walk into that room and hold your head high. I don't even know if I want to be seen, I said, staring at my reflection, nerves boiling in my chest. But you deserve to be, she replied. All of you. The venue was stunning, an open-glass studio filled with influencers, photographers, fashion editors. Every corner sparkled with chandeliers and curated florals. I clutched my matching clutch nervously, heels tapping against polished marble. Heads turned as we entered.
Gasps.
Then phones. Flashes. We posed back to back like she'd trained me. Smiles wide. Twin power. And no one questioned it. Not one person looked at me and said, "That's a guy in a dress." They saw two glamorous sisters. I should have felt elated. But inside, I was shaking. Halfway through the event, while Alina chatted with a group of stylists, I slipped outside to the balcony. The noise, the attention, it was too much. I needed air. I leaned on the railing, heart pounding. And then, I heard her voice. Aiden. I spun around.
Amara.
Standing in the doorway, wearing a black dress, arms crossed, eyes full of storm. Amara, what are you? How? Alina sent me an invite, she said, stepping forward. Didn't tell me you'd be here, though. Not like this. My throat tightened. I didn't know she would. So this is it? She asked. This is who you are now. I swallowed hard. It's not a now. It's who I've always been. I just didn't have the words. Or the courage. She looked me over. Not with judgment this time, but pain. And you didn't trust me enough to tell me? I was scared, I said. Scared of losing you. Of ruining us. Amara stepped closer. You didn't ruin anything by being honest. You ruined it by hiding. Tears welled in my eyes. I'm sorry. We stood there in silence, the buzz of the event muffled behind the glass. Then, softly, she said, So, what do I call you now? The question hit me like a wave. I didn't know. I'd been Alina's twin. Her shadow. Her project. But who was I? I looked down, then back up. I don't have a name yet. I'm still figuring that out. She nodded slowly. That's fair. I never wanted to lie, I said again. But this, it's real. I can't pretend it's not anymore. Amara took a deep breath. I wish I'd known this side of you sooner. Me too. And I don't know if I'm ready to be your girlfriend again. Not until I understand everything. I nodded, a tear slipping down my cheek. I get that. But I am ready to be your friend. If you'll let me. I choked back a sob. Of course. She opened her arms. I collapsed into them. Inside, Alina saw us through the glass and smiled to herself. Her plan had worked. But maybe it wasn't just a plan. Maybe she knew the only way I'd become whole was to risk being broken first. Later that night, the event over, we walked home together, me, Alina, and Amara. 3 silhouettes in heels. 3 versions of love, identity, and sisterhood. I didn't know what tomorrow would bring. But for the first time, I wasn't afraid of being seen. The next morning, everything was quiet. Too quiet. The glam of the event had faded. The lashes were off. The dress was hung back in the closet. My reflection in the mirror was a clean face, tired eyes, and raw truth. Amara had gone home the night before, but she'd held my hand as she left. Her parting words still echoed in my head. I need time, but don't hide. Not again. I didn't know what that meant for us. But I knew I had to keep being honest, no matter how terrifying it felt. Alina knocked on my door and poked her head in. Coffee, she offered. I nodded. Thanks. She placed the cup on my desk, then lingered. You okay? I stared at the floor. I don't know who I am anymore. You turned me into your twin, and somewhere in the middle of all of this, I lost track of me. She sat down beside me. I didn't turn you into me. I helped you find herself. You just happened to meet her while wearing my clothes. I gave her a weak smile. She's hard to compete with. You don't have to compete. You just have to choose. Later that afternoon, I went into Alina's room. The vanity was still covered in our supplies, eyeshadow palettes, brushes, lipsticks arranged like weapons of confidence. I sat down in front of the mirror. No wig, no makeup, no sparkle, just me. I stared into the glass, waiting to see the boy I used to be. But he was gone. In his place was someone softer. Someone still scared, but stronger than yesterday. Someone unfinished. I picked up the wig, the same one I'd worn when Amara first saw me. I didn't put it on. I just held it in my lap, brushing it slowly, gently. A knock on the door broke the silence.
Amara.
She stepped inside, holding something behind her back. I figured it out, she said. I looked up. Figured what out? What you are. My heart stopped. What do you mean? She pulled out the item she'd been hiding. A compact mirror. I brought this for you, she said. You've spent so much time looking in other people's mirrors. Mine. Alina's. Everyone's. I figured maybe it was time you had your own. My throat closed. I took the mirror in my trembling hands and opened it. It was small but clear. My face stared back. Not Alina's twin. Not Amara's boyfriend.
Me.
I don't know what name you'll choose. Or what this means long-term, she said. But I know this. Whatever identity you step into, it should be yours. I felt tears in my eyes again. I was doing that a lot lately. Thank you, I whispered. Amara nodded. Just promise me one thing. Anything. When you're ready to show the world who you are, really, don't let anyone else speak first. You get the first word. That night, I sat alone, scrolling through the gallery on my phone. There were dozens of pictures. Some of Alina. Some of me as her. But a few stood out. Ones where it was just me. Not posing. Not performing. Just being. I stared at one for a long time. Me in the lavender dress, caught mid-laugh, hair tumbling over one shoulder, joy bursting through my face like sunlight. Not pretending. Not hiding. I looked like a real person. And for the first time in my life, I believed I was. That's when I made the decision. I picked up the mirror Amara had given me, held it up, and whispered, "You're not my sister's shadow anymore." I stood up, crossed the room to the closet, and pulled out a new outfit. Not one of Alina's, but something I had bought quietly online last week.
Soft jeans.
A cream blouse. Flat shoes. Natural makeup. My own blend. I dressed. I looked in the mirror. And I smiled. Then my phone buzzed. Unknown number. Hey. Saw your twin video online. You looked beautiful. You free to talk. My heart jumped. I opened the link Alina had posted. The twin TikTok. She'd uploaded it. And it had gone viral. Over 400,000 views. Thousands of comments. And a new storm heading straight for me. The viral video had passed 500,000 views by morning. I hadn't slept. I kept refreshing the screen, watching the numbers rise. Comments poured in. OMG, the twin reveal was flawless. Are they really twins? Something's off. Okay, but the one on the right? She's giving main character energy. Hold on, is that a guy? Wait, what? I couldn't look away. It felt like the entire world had stumbled into my secret. And now I had a choice. Keep hiding or step forward. Alina knocked softly and came in holding her phone. Someone recognized you, she said gently. My stomach dropped. From where? She showed me the screen. A DM from a girl we went to school with.
Anna.
A theater geek. Not cruel, just curious. Is that Aiden in the TikTok? Please tell me, I'm not losing my mind. I stared at the message. My heart thudded. So it begins. Alina tilted her head. What do you want to do? I don't know, I said. Part of me wants to vanish. Another part wants to go live and just tell them everything. She studied me. Then tell them. But do it for you, not them. I opened my front camera. Took a deep breath. No filters. No perfect lighting. Just me. In my own voice, I said, Hi.
Some of you saw the video my sister posted.
And yeah, that was me. I've been hiding for a long time. Hiding from myself. From people I care about. From the world. I paused. I'm not sure what I am just yet. I don't have all the answers. But what I do know is this. When I dress like this, when I move through the world like this, I feel whole. I feel real. And I think that matters. I pressed upload. And I waited. It didn't take long. My phone buzzed nonstop. Some messages were confused. Some cruel. But many, many were kind. You're so brave. I see you. Takes guts to say this out loud. Respect. You helped me see myself too. Then a notification popped up that made my heart lurch. Amara commented, You're still the person I love. Maybe even more now. Proud of you. I burst into tears. Later that day, Alina pulled me aside. Her tone was serious. You did something incredible today, she said. But you should know, I had a plan when this started. I blinked. What do you mean? She hesitated, then confessed. At first, turning you into my twin was just a joke. A challenge. I wanted to see if I could pull it off. But then you became her. And I realized you weren't pretending. You were becoming someone real. I didn't expect that.
I didn't plan for that.
I looked at her, really looked. So, was I ever just your experiment? No, she said quietly. You became my inspiration. We hugged tightly. And for the first time, I didn't feel like her copy. I felt like her equal. But just as I began to relax, the phone rang. I answered. A male voice crackled on the line. Is this Aiden Rivers? Yes. This is Daniel Myers. I represent a casting agency. We saw your twin reveal video. We're preparing a media piece on identity and digital transformation. We'd like to feature you. My mouth went dry. Me?
Yes.
You'd appear as yourself. Full look. Full story. It's a bold project. You'd be the face of it. I don't know. He cut in gently. Think about it. The world already sees you. Now you decide if they meet the real you or just the version you hide behind. He hung up. I stood there frozen. Alina walked in. Who was that? I looked at her, voice trembling. Someone wants the real me on camera. National. Fully dressed. Fully out. She blinked. Are you going to do it? I stared down at my reflection in the compact mirror Amara gave me. One final question echoed in my mind. Are you ready to let the world see your true self? I smiled softly. I think it's time. The hug on the balcony had ended in silence. Not closure. Amara pulled away gently, her hands sliding off my arms like she wasn't ready to let go, but didn't know if she should. I don't know what any of this means, she said. I'm trying, but it's a lot. I nodded. You don't have to decide anything tonight. She looked back into the party, to the lights and fashion and versions of us that only existed online. So this is who you are now. I glanced at the mirrored doors behind her. Maybe. Or maybe this is who I've always been. And I'm just finally strong enough to show it. She didn't smile. But she didn't walk away either. I need time, she whispered. And then she did leave. Again. When we got home, Alina tried to celebrate the event's success, showing me tags, TikToks, screenshots of people calling us icons, legends, the next big twin duo. But all I could think was, what if she never comes back? What if the version of me I liked, the one with eyeliner and a lavender dress, was only allowed to exist when no one I loved was watching? That night, I stood in front of the mirror again, removed the earrings, unclipped the wig, wiped the makeup away. Layer by layer, I returned to Aiden. But I didn't feel like him anymore. He felt like a ghost I'd grown out of. I sat on my bed and scrolled through our photos, me and Amara at the lake, in bookstores, laughing on rooftops. My old face. My old life. But now there were new ones. Me and Alina. Dressed alike. In sync. Smiling in a way I never had before. And then it hit me. I didn't have to choose between them. I just had to stop hiding from either one. The next morning, I woke up early, heart pounding with a nervous kind of certainty. Let's make content, I told Alina at breakfast. She blinked.
Now.
I want to show them more than just a spin reveal. I want to talk. Say what I didn't say last night. Alina studied me like she was trying to see if I'd shatter. But I didn't. I was steel. And I was done being someone else's shadow. We recorded the video in natural light. No ring lights. No dramatic edits. Just me, sitting in a hoodie, barefaced, heart wide open. I took a breath. My name is Aiden, at least it used to be, I said. Maybe it still is. Or maybe I'm something else now. I don't know yet. I looked straight into the camera. But for the first time in my life, I'm not pretending. I explained it all. The makeup. The outfits. The video. Amara's reaction. My fear.
My joy.
The confusion.
The shame.
The thrill. And then I said, if you've ever looked in the mirror and wondered who's looking back at you, know that you're not alone. And whoever you are, that person deserves to be seen. We hit upload. And I waited. Within hours, it blew up. The twin video had been viral. This was personal. The comments were electric. I'm crying. This is so real. This helped me come out to my sister. You're not alone. We see you. That's not just your sister anymore. That's your hero. But the one comment that made my breath catch came from Amara. You were never pretending with me. I just didn't know how to see you. I'm learning. Don't give up on us yet. I stared at her words, heart pounding. Not a full yes. Not a rejection either. A door cracked open.
Hope.
Then came the email. Subject line. Feature request. National campaign on digital identity. A fashion collective wanted to feature us. Me and Alina. Not just as twins, but as a living example of fluid identity. Personal transformation. Gender and fashion in a digital age. You be styled, interviewed, filmed, the rep wrote. But we'd need you to appear under your true self. No aliases. No edits. No hiding. I turned to Alina. What do we say? She looked at me, eyes gleaming. I say you're ready. I swallowed hard. And if I'm not? She shrugged. Then we show them someone becoming ready. That's even more powerful. That night, I lay awake, staring at the compact mirror Amara had given me. And I realized I wasn't just her twin anymore. I wasn't Alina's reflection. I was someone else entirely. Someone new. Someone real. The casting director's words echoed in my head. We'd need you to appear under your true self. No aliases. No edits. For days, I couldn't stop thinking about it. Alina said it was a chance to reclaim my story, to speak it in my own voice, to take up space in a world that tried so hard to shrink people like me down. But was I ready to be seen? Not by strangers online. By everyone. Amara came over the night before the final decision was due. She didn't say much, just sat with me on the couch, curled legs tucked beneath her, eyes on my phone as I stared at the email. After a long silence, she finally whispered, "Have you picked a name yet?" I looked at her, then looked at myself in the reflection of the darkened TV screen. "No," I said softly, "but I'm getting close." She smiled gently. "I hope it's something strong." I thought for a moment, then said, "It will be." The next morning, I stood in front of the mirror again. Hair curled, makeup soft but defined. A deep burgundy dress hugged my waist. Confidence in every inch of fabric. But this time, something was different. This wasn't Alina's look. It wasn't a copy. It was mine. Alina stood behind me, her arms crossed, watching. "You're not my twin anymore," she said. I turned to her, startled. "I mean that in the best way," she added, grinning. "You're not my project. You're not my mirror image. You're you now. I blinked away tears. I'm still scared.
Good, she said.
That means you're about to do something real. We filmed the segment that afternoon. Full studio lighting. Multiple cameras. The producers asked deep questions about gender, family, fear, fame. When they asked, "What should we call you on the feature?" I paused, looked straight into the lens, and said, "You can call me her." The video aired 3 days later, across platforms, national, shared and stitched and re-uploaded. It wasn't a performance. It was a revolution. Not just for me, but for thousands of people who saw a reflection of themselves in the girl who used to be someone else's secret. Then came the last moment. Alina and I stood side by side again, back in the apartment, watching the credits roll on our video. And then another text. From Mom. I hadn't told her. Not yet. I read the message aloud. Saw the clip. Is that really you? Please come home. We need to talk. I froze. Amara looked up from the couch. Alina's face paled slightly. You gonna do it? She asked. I swallowed. If I go back like this, there's no turning back. That's the point, Alina whispered. I picked up the compact mirror, looked at myself one last time. A storm behind my eyes, a spark in my smile, and I whispered the words I'd been afraid to say. She's not just a disguise anymore. She's me.